All right, it's Dr. Dan Ritchie, president of the Functional Aging Institute, and we are here at the Functional Aging Summit, live around the world. It is Friday afternoon, 1:30 Eastern, depending on what time zone you are. Obviously, it could be different. Guy Andrews is going to bring us another one of his innovative, high-cost, really expensive, high-tech equipment type programs, right? It's the Plastic Cup Balance Program. He is one of the most creative presenters in how to use simple equipment that really anyone can get virtually, at a local store and turn that into all sorts of games, activities, and people that activities your clients will just absolutely love. So Guy Andrews has been in the fitness industry longer than I will tell you, but he may reveal that here in a slide or two. He's the CEO, founder of Exercise, Etc., which has done workshops all over the country for at least somewhere over 20 years. And I know many people have run across them over the decades. They've been a great source of continuing education. Guy, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm going to hop off camera. I'm going to ask everyone to keep their camera off until Guy asks for some live Q&A. We'll just let you run with it, Guy. You've got until 2:45 total, but if you finish early, we'll do as much Q&A as you want. So take it away. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Dan, and good afternoon, everybody. I have allowed time for questions and answers afterwards. I am going to turn off my camera because I find it distracting. And welcome to those of you guys who I have met over the years. Good to see you, at least virtually. For those of you guys who are brand new, well, hopefully eventually I will see you in person. If you don't know me, that is me. That is my background, and certainly nothing to hide. I've been in the fitness industry for almost 40 years, which is amazing since I'm only 43 years old. And there's my background. You can read that later. I would rather get into the good stuff, but I am working only with older adults. And it's one of those generational things that when I started training seniors, I referred to them as them. And now when I train seniors, I refer to them as us. And there's a life lesson in there somewhere, I am sure. Okay, we're all in different places right now with how we are training seniors. Down here in Southern Florida, we're not on lockdown or quarantine, but it still is not back to normal. Gyms are just starting to open at 50% capacity. I train for the city of Wilton Manors, Florida, and their parks and recreation area is still not open yet. I'm hoping we can resume in July, but that is based on nothing except my desire. When and if we do go back, I think what's important to remember is that many of our seniors are going to be very, very apprehensive about venturing out again. My folks have been locked down for 3 months, and they're apprehensive and they're afraid. And it's right that they're afraid. I don't know what state you're from what Dan said, you guys are all over the world. We all have different realities. But here in the state of Florida, 85% of all the people who have died of COVID-19 are over the age of 65. 50% of all of the deaths in Florida have been in long-term care facilities. Older adults of color or with different comorbidities are especially affected. So when we talk about how our older clients are apprehensive or afraid, there is a good reason for that, and we need to be aware of that and to factor that into our programming. Also, and this is one of my main concerns, arguably, I'm more afraid of this than COVID-19. After my folks have been sequestered for 3 months, their strength is going to be gone. Their balance is going to be going back to square one. So we've got to factor that in as well, that we're going to be playing catch up, even with many of our clients who are regulars. And that's why all of our training, is going to begin with a one-legged stand assessment. I'm sure that those guys who are training seniors already are very familiar with the assessment. I'm not going to go through it now. I've got other things I would rather spend my time on. But multiple balance measurements, the Tonetti assessment, the Berg balance scale, they are all using the one-legged stand as an assessment to determine our client's fall risk. If you're unfamiliar with it, you can Google it. But the bottom line is that if your client is not able to stand unsupported on each leg for 5 seconds, their fall risk goes up incrementally. So regardless if we've got a new senior client or someone who's been with us for years, if they have not been actively training for weeks or months, we're back to square one, and we have got to begin with an assessment. But the purpose of our discussion today is using Solo plastic cups as our main implement for balance and fall prevention programs. And I've been getting an awful lot of emails and comments on my Facebook page that generally run the gamut that include basically, are you for real? Is this serious? And I'm absolutely for serious. Working for the city, I have no budget. They give me nothing. They give me the space I can use, and that's pretty much the sole extent of the city's investment in this program that we've been running for almost 7 years now. The Solo beverage cups or plastic beverage cups are great. They're cheap. You can buy them anywhere. They're colorful. They are totally non-threatening. And I get all of my plastic cups at Party City. The little ad that I show you on the top shows you all the many colors that come in. So you can pick a color scheme to choose your needs. And at $5.99 for 50, you can't go wrong with the price. But it gets better because most Party Cities have these things as a BOGO, buy one, get one. So for $6, you can get 100 cups in 2 different colors. For $18, you can get 6 colors of cups, 300 cups, which will last you until the end of time. Also, whether you're training one-on-one or in a group, if you were social distancing, these drills can be done pretty much anywhere. They're the perfect balance tool. And when you start using them, as we're going to be utilizing them, where many of our drills, we are focusing on standing with 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot balanced on the cup, they are just the perfect height. If your client has a weight shift, all that's going to happen is that they are going to crush, but it's not going to significantly increase their fall risk. And it's impossible for your client to cheat because any kind of a weight shift and they begin to compress the cups and you hear that god-awful crunching noise, so you always know who is balanced and who is not. Now we're going to do a variety of different drills today, but they can be done pretty much anywhere. One-on-one, large groups, small groups, your home, their home, gym. You can do them on Zoom or FaceTime. I've done many of these on YouTube, the YouTube channel I put together for my folks. And what's important to remember is, yes, they're fun. Yes, they're enjoyable. Yes, our clients love them, but they are all rooted in exercise science. They're not just time killers, and every single drill that we do has a very real, very functional balance goal in mind. So this is not just, time killers. And that's why I put together for you this little grid sheet. This is available in the PDF file of the package that I'll make available to you at the end of the class. On the left side are all the drills we're going to see in the next hour or so. Across the top are all of our balance goals, from weight shifting to level changes, dynamic balance, core strength, hand-eye coordination, reaction time and agility, and cognition. And it shows you very specifically which skills are going to be addressed by each drill, okay? So hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier to choose a drill that will focus most effectively on your client's needs. And I've got to do the disclaimer because we are working with seniors, a high-risk population. But the drills we're taking a look at today, guys, are designed for active, functional seniors who are living independently. Some can be modified to be done from a chair, and we'll show those modifications. But if your older client is frail, if they've got debilitating disease, if they're in a fall management program, if they're in a pain management program, if they are classified as a fall risk, the risk of some of these drills may exceed the benefits. It is up to all of us to know our clients, their background, to do a skill assessment, so can be sure that whatever we are doing, the benefit will exceed the risk. So that's all the background, that's my disclaimers. And here we go. Many balance programs begin with a one-legged stand. We talked about our assessment, where the goal is to see if each client can stand on each foot for 5 seconds. What we're doing now with the static one-legged stand drill is, as you see in the photograph, the client is balancing one foot on the ground and the other foot is just tapping the top of the cup. I'm calling this the right way to do it because if you notice, there is support right there. There's a chair available to my side. You know, if you've got the ability to have a chair or a wall or a table on each side, that's fine. But if I've only got one chair, which I usually do in my classes, I don't have the luxury of 2 chairs for people. I will usually put the chair on the opposite side from the foot that is unstable. In this photo, and I'll tell you why. In this photograph, my right foot is unstable. If I begin to lose my balance and fall to the right, I'm going to instinctively correct that or overcorrect that by weight shifting to the left. And if I do that rapidly, I might be as likely to fall to the left as to the right. So having the chair right there to my left ensures that if I lose my balance, I've got it there. If your client is really unstable, they can hang on the entire time or just touch the chair with one finger. It's amazing how just one finger in contact with a solid object will make you feel a bit more stable. My foot starts off on the cup, and all that I'm doing right now is tapping up and down. Oh, sorry, there's the dog. It's her backyard. So what we're taking a look at there is just how we are beginning our program. And if they're not tapping that cup with a light touch, you're going to hear it crunch. You may go through a lot of cups initially when you start this off. So I'm calling this the right way to begin. Okay. And now here's the wrong way. Here I'm out in the open with no support whatsoever. Right off the bat, that should be a red flag, doing this drill with no support. Because what's going to happen, and this is going to head south very, very quickly. Now, as soon as I tap that cup, I'm going to lose my balance. Lose my balance, I do a weight shift, and you see right there how immediately that cup compresses, and you're going to hear that. It's going to be like a bell or a whistle or an alarm going off. So we're starting off with the static one-legged stand drill, both what I'm calling the right way and what I'm calling the wrong way. Now from there, I'm going back to being a good shredder with support nearby. We start off with a static stand, which is standing there and maintaining our balance. Now we're going to add some dynamic movement to it, which is way more functional. So now we're adding movement while I'm maintaining my balance from the arms, moving them up and down in the frontal plane, in the sagittal plane, moving both arms in the same direction. Every one of these arm motions, what it's doing is it is forcing me to shift my weight, to use my core, to control my body. Being able to do this while not compressing your plastic cup makes this a very, very challenging drill for some of your seniors. If they cannot do it while maintaining their foot on the cup, just have them do it with their foot on the ground. Or just do alternate drills, both feet on the ground, one foot on the cup. And I feel foolish for even mentioning this, but when I've taught this live, this question has come up, and I'm actually quite appalled by it. At no point is your client trying to balance their body weight by standing on top of the plastic cup. You get that, right? Tell me you get that. So we move to a dynamic balance drill. Those exercises, guys, the static balance and the dynamic balance are our starting point. That's where we're going to go. Now, from this point, when your client is ready, we're moving more and more, we're adding more and more balance, more and more dynamic balance, more weight shifting. How fast your client can progress from one of these drills to another is of course based on that client, their skill level, how quickly they adapt. But now we're moving to some drills that are a bit more challenging. And for those of us of a certain age, you remember Twister? Remember the Twister game? Depending on your age, back in the 60s or 70s. I have memories of nights in college as an undergraduate playing Twister. Alcohol may have been involved. I'm not going to go there. But how do we modify Twister for our older adults? Well, we start off by playing what I call table Twister. For this one, the client remains upright. They're going to initiate a weight shift from their hips. You've got the cups spread out at a good distance. This can be done either individually or if you've got the table space in a group, but the cups are spread out across the table. What's going to happen now is the client stands back from the table, so they're not leaning against the table, and the presenter, that would be you or me, calls out a certain hand and a certain color. Right hand blue, left hand green. And it kind of looks like this. Here we go. Right hand blue, left yellow, right green, left pink, left yellow, right blue, left pink, right yellow, left green, right blue, left pink, right yellow, left green, right pink, left pink. We don't know what we're doing. Right yellow, left blue. Now my cat felt compelled to get into the picture. But that is table Twister. As you are doing this, if you have never done it before, I recommend that what you do is write out your instructions in advance. Write them out, because otherwise you can get all twisted up as well. If and when the day comes that we are no longer social distancing, you can do this with different people sharing the same cups. For right now, better to let each one have their own cup. And again, at $5.99 for 100, you can probably afford that. So that's our first variation, which is table Twister. It's a weight shift, it's core strength, reaction time, response time, hand-eye coordination. From there, for your less able clients, we're doing the same type thing with seated Twister. This is a good way to start off for your clients who are not able to do a weight shift. But we've got seated Twister. And instead of calling a hand in a color, we're calling a foot in a color. And it looks like this. Here we go. Right foot pink, left foot green. Right foot blue, left foot yellow. Right foot pink, right foot green, left foot yellow, left foot pink. Right foot pink, blue, green, yellow. You see how that's going? So what you're doing, and it's very easy to get tongue-tied as you were doing this. Again, it's great to have it actually written out. You know, you can go fast or you can go slow. It's up to you and your clients. In my experience, as they do this, a lot of laughter. So we start off with table Twister, seated Twister, and now here we go. The next go round is going to be standing Twister. Again, I've got my chair there just in case. And here is your standing Twister drill. Same thing. Right pink, left green, right blue, right yellow, left green, left pink, right, left yellow, and so forth. Now, if you put your mind to it, you could actually combine arms and legs by having them standing behind their table and having the cups between them and the table. So you can combine both arms and legs for this variation. So these are our Twister variations. Another variation is the seated color to color drill. This is really a sit to stand exercise. And for this photograph, I apologize. This presentation went through several different incarnations. At first, I thought it was going to be live. And then I figured when we were going to do the recorded version, I would get my old folks together and have them record the drills for me, but when the studio did not open. So finally, what I was left with was me and a camera. This drill was originally done with agility dots on the floor. All we're doing now is instead of the agility dots is using the paper cups or the plastic cups instead. But the fundamentals don't change. They're seated in a circle. If you're social distancing, keep your chairs apart. What you would do is you would call out a name and a color. So I would say, Dan, right foot yellow, or Celia, left foot purple. They would stand up, go to the nearest quadrant with that color, tap the cup, and go back to their seat. So what it is reaction time and response time, a lot of core strength and lower body strength, because they're essentially doing chair squats, and they're doing agility because they are making directional changes as well. So we're working on many different levels. Actually, I way prefer the plastic cups to the agility dots and the agility rings you see on the floor, because you can actually see from the photograph how those dots are not laying flat. They tend to get misshapen and they're a tripping hazard. Personally, I regard the plastic cups as less of a trip hazard. The standing color-to-color drill is the exact same thing. You can have your clients stand in the perimeter, or if you're training one-on-one, have them stand in the center. Call out a foot, left or right, call out a color, and they're good to go. This one is not only working on agility, you've got a very, very strong balance component here as well. Because what they're doing is, imagine that your client was facing north, 12 o'clock. So they're facing the purple. And you call out left foot green. They're making almost an entire 90-degree turn before they can tap the green cup. So you've got the spinning around, and you've got the issue of whether or not they are getting dizzy or not. So this one is a bit more intense. You can do this with a group, have them all line up on the perimeter. Say, okay, next person, tap green, tap red. Next person, tap right foot green, left foot red, and you can work that way. So the standing color-to-color drill, a bit more intense than the seated drill. And finally, ratcheting up the intensity one more time, we have got the lateral shuffle. For this one, your cups are all spread out over an expanse. I like to start the client about 10 or 20 feet away. So you say, go, and they approach the line. As they get near to it, you call out a color. So as Patricia in the photograph is walking, I might say, tap blue. In that case, she would have to shuffle to the right and tap her right foot to blue. If I said tap green, she would shuffle left and tap her left foot out of the green dot. You can call out multiple colors. After you say go, you can say blue, green, yellow. And now she is shuffling laterally right to left and back to right. Now here's the important thing. When they are shuffling, they always tap the foot in the direction they are shuffling. So for example, right now Patricia is shuffling to the right, so she would tap the blue dot with her right foot. If she was to tap the green dot, she shuffles left and taps the green dot with her left foot. By doing it that way, you are minimizing the risk of them tripping over their own feet. There's a level of cognition in here, because if when they are going, you say, okay, Patricia, blue, red, green. They've got to remember that sequence. You can also make this easier or more challenging for them. When they are there in that blue circle, the starting point, if you say tap blue, they can prepare, they can plan. If you wait until they're almost on top of the dots and say blue, they don't have as much time to react, respond. If you are really concerned about this, if they are a bit shaky, make sure you've got your chairs or your tables nearby just in case. But that is the lateral shuffle drill. It's not for everyone. It's probably the most advanced of our twister-inspired drills that we have seen to this point. But in the real world, functionally, we don't always move forward in a straight line. We move laterally, we turn around, we make directional changes, and that's what we are focusing on for this particular drill. Now, what I'd like to point out as well is every now and then, somebody will take this class in real time and say, but Guy, I don't have colors. I've only got one color of cup. I guess it could happen, whatever. What you do is you improvise. Here's how I would do it if I only had one color of cup. I would just print out or write out with a Sharpie pen different numbers and do it that way. So we're still using the cups, but now if I tell Patricia on that right-hand diagram, right foot green, it's a bit confusing. So what I would do is I'd say right foot number 1. She can still tap the cup, still get the benefits, but it's how we improvise when we don't have cups and colors or sufficient colors, okay? Okay, so those were our twister-inspired drills. But now we're gonna go to what I call play ball solo cup catching. One of my ladies, her photograph's in here, during World War II, was in the Women's Softball League that was inspired the movie A League of Their Own with Madonna and Tom Hanks. So she was one of the stars back during World War II. So these next drills are all inspired by cup catching. You see the lady on the left-hand side with the white shirt and the gray, like the gray page boy? That's Doris. Doris was the one who was in the Women's Softball League in World War II. Well into her 90s, Doris has an arm like you can't imagine. So for cup catching, what are you going to do for this one? These are for my less advanced people. They've got a table. Everyone has a cup. They've got a partner across the table. Their partner bounces the ball. They catch it in the cup. That's all there is to it. The folks on the left, who are well into their 80s and 90s, they've got a wall behind them. So it's about 2 to 3 feet behind the table, so that if they are going backwards to make a catch, there's something to catch them. They're less likely to fall down on their backside. So balance, core strength, hand-to-eye coordination, weight shifting, it's all involved in this drill, and it's great fun. Here's a tip for you. Here's a tip for you. If you've ever played baseball or softball, you know you wear your mitt on your non-dominant hand. They will actually have better control and better success if they keep the cup in their non-dominant hand. So if you're left-handed, the cup goes in your right hand. If you're right-handed, it goes into your left hand. Here's another variation, a bit more challenging, with a ping pong ball. With my older adults, I prefer to use ping pong balls that are orange. They have an easier time seeing them. They don't always get them, but often they do. So there's a variation with a ping pong ball bouncing on a table. People always ask, well, don't the balls fall on the floor? Of course they do. And then the rules are, they've got to bend down and pick them up. But you know what, guys? That is a level change. It's a weight shift. It is very functional. If they live alone, there are times when they have got to reach down, bend over, and pick things up off the floor. Okay, now this next variation, similar, they are now doing it with a tennis ball from cup to cup. And this one is a bit more challenging. There is no bounce. And they work in teams of 2 or 3. There's Doris again, throwing and catching. It's very enjoyable. They have a good time with it. They get excited when somebody makes a good catch. So that's another variation with a tennis ball, but just throwing from cup to cup. Now, are you social distancing? Are you working with your client one-on-one? Here's how you would do it solo. What your client is doing now is just bouncing the ball on the floor and then catching in the cup. It's all just a bounce and a catch. The harder they bounce, the higher it catches. The harder they throw is what I meant. You know what I meant. The higher they throw it, the higher it bounces. If you can get it at or near eye level, that's good. And My ball is getting progressively higher. Remember too that I'm 6'3". I like the ball going high because it throws off the vestibular system. And what it does is it makes them look up and look down, look up and look down. It becomes a vestibular challenge as well. So option number one, which is a bit easier, is a tennis ball being caught in the cup. I am right-handed. My cup is in my left hand. The next variation, a bit more challenging, is doing with a ping pong ball. A ping pong ball is a smaller, they're really quite bouncy, and it's a harder target. I want you guys to know that this drill drove my dog crazy. I edited out all the times that she charged in and took the ball in midair. It was really quite impressive. But there is another variation of the cup catching drill with the ping pong ball. You can do cup catching as a relay race. This was my Christmas class last year. They've all got their cups. They're all wearing their Santa hats. They're working around a table, 6 or 8 people to the table. What we were actually tossing for this drill was small candies. We were actually tossing Christmas candies from person to person, and they work either clockwise or counterclockwise, a cup catching relay. I would be remiss if we were doing cup catching drills without talking about beer pong. Some of the bars down here that are most popular with my clients actually do senior beer pong. What we're doing for the city is similar in execution, but there is no beer involved. You can set your cups up in a line, as you see on the left, or you set your cups up in a bowling pin formation like you see on the right. They can just free toss into the cup, or they can try to bounce into the cup. Either way is fine. What I have done for this drill is I put a rock, a small decorative rock, in the bottom of each cup to keep it from tipping over. So their goal is, from a distance, I usually use 8 to 10 feet, is try and toss their ping pong ball into the cup. Easy, just hit any cup you can. Difficult, hit a specific color. So on the left-hand photograph, I might say, okay, aim for the green cup. On the right-hand photograph, I might say, okay, aim for the orange cup. The odds of them actually getting a ball into the cup are fairly remote. So plan on you and them spending a fair amount of time picking ping pong balls up off the floor. A note of caution. If you've got multiple people doing this, you may have multiple balls on the floor. Be very, very careful, because those balls are like ball bearings. If people start to walk on them, it could increase their trip risk. So beer pong gold. More variations of beer pong gold. Okay, another variation of this is what we call solo cup bowling. What you're doing here is you're arranging 10 cups upside down on a table, and with either a tennis ball or a ping pong ball, or we use furniture gliders, they try and knock down as many cups as they can. Solo cup bowling. The tables that I use at the senior center are 8 feet long. Most folding tables, if you are using them, are 6 or 8 feet long. I like the 8-footers, but 6 are good as well. And if you are social distancing, you can still have one person on each end of the table and maintain your social distance. This drill, I don't have a photograph of it, works well on the floor. What you do is you put your solo cups in the grid pattern on the floor, and then with the furniture glider, you just kick the glider and try and knock the cups down. It's a great weight shifting, lower body, and core strength drill. But that's what we are calling solo cup bowling. From here, we're getting more advanced. We are getting more advanced. We call it reach for the stars, or the skyscraper drill. Now we are doing cup stacking, going as high as we possibly can. For this drill, how I usually do it is they work in teams, and every person on the team places one cup at a time. If you take a look at them, these are very advanced drills. This next photograph, the left and the right photographs, are less advanced because you're building a grid and the entire bottom layer is on a solid surface. Right now, because these were our Christmas tree drills in our Christmas extravaganza, they're all balanced on a single cup. There's a piece of cardboard over that cup, so it's all balanced and weight shifting. And as they place the cups, they've got to have the mental computations to know where they're going to maintain their balance and not let the whole thing come toppling down. Once they reach the peak, the goal is to keep going for as long as they can. And these are some impressive towers, because these towers are significantly taller than the participants, which means that to get the cup up there, they're literally on tiptoes, balancing to try and place the cup. It's a very, very challenging drill. The folks love it. All over the group, all you hear are the signs of towers toppling, and they get right back up to see how far they can go. I think on the left-hand side, the left-hand photograph, Emmy is trying very hard not to breathe because that tower came down a fraction of a second after I took the photograph. So the tower of power. But think of the balance they've got here and the core strength and the control to build these towers. After you build the tower, what goes up must come down. So on the right-hand photograph, I captured that just as their tower came down. Nobody, I think, was really surprised at that. The middle photograph, we've built a complex, an edifice, if you will. And Janine, who is well into her 90s, by the way, Janine is using a furniture mover to glide it and knock it down. And on the left-hand photograph, again, the same type thing, just trying to knock down the towers that are built. My folks, they love to build. They also love to destroy. The cups go everywhere, and then becomes another drill to bend down and pick them up. The goal of any older adult fitness program, the goal of any kind of a program has got to be to get the senior client off their chairs and moving. If our goal is to keep our clients functional for as long as possible, to keep them as independent for as long as possible, we have got to get them out of their chair. You know, those guys who know me know this is kind of my pet peeve about balance programs where the old folks are in their chair continually and never get out. Obviously, we need to have the option of seated drills for some of our clients. Obviously, if our client is a fall risk, we have got to be able to start to build core strength and endurance while they are seated. For those of you guys who are with me tomorrow for my class on a dozen group activities, we're starting with some of the activities from rock bottom. The client who is a fall risk, who must start off their training in a chair. But over time, keeping them in the chair is not doing them any benefit. Because if they're going to live alone, independently and functionally, we have got to get them out of their chair. That's the bottom line. And I know why many balance programs keep the client in their chair. It's safer. There's less liability. I get it. There is less of a fall risk. But if our goal is function and independence, that client has got to be stable, getting into their chair, getting out of their chair, walking, moving, weight shifting, picking things up. You know, in my live classes, I've had people who are a bit appalled that I add deadlifts and squats and lunges to all of my senior balance programs. Excuse me. But you have to, because that is what makes them functional. And that is what is the difference, in my mind, between a functional program and a program that really is kind of killing time and doing lip service to the idea of balance, fall prevention, and function. So now we're going to go into some ambulation drills. excuse me, what I've got now, and you can do these indoors or outdoors, I've got a course of 8 different colored cups that are put together in a line. This line is approximately 30 feet, give or take. Each of these cups is about 3-4 feet away. So the first drill, I call it around and around. And here's how it looks. The client is just walking around the cups. They can go clockwise, they can go counterclockwise, but that is the around and around drill. I like to vary, have them go clockwise one lap, counterclockwise the next lap, and you can do all kinds of modifications. You can have them do this on tiptoe. You can have them do it with exaggeratedly long steps. You can have them do it with a butt kick. There's all kinds of variations. But the first and the easiest is to go around and around. And here's one last thing I'd like to point out. The blue cup is the end of the line. Observe your clients, and as they go around, see, are they close or are they far away from the end cup? Here's why. The wider their turning radius, the farther they go out to execute that turn, the more of a fall risk they probably are. If they can execute a very, very tight turn, they are more able to rotate the hip, to rotate the torso, and to maintain stability. So a big wide turn may be a red flag. A very close turn indicates a higher level of function. So drill number 1, around and around we go. Number 2, over and over. Sorry, I went back to the wrong one. Number 2 is over and over. Big steps, standing up. It's really like a march, is it not? Walking in the very middle of the cups. So over and over, they are marching. Now, I've done this with folks that if they are not lifting their feet, they don't necessarily crush the cup. What happens is they knock it over. If they are dragging their feet, if they can't get their feet up, if they are shuffling, indicates more of a fall risk. So we went around and around, then we did over and over. Now we're doing a lateral shuffle. The lateral shuffle looks like this. For this one, they are shuffling with 2 feet hitting the ground between each set of cups. The lateral shuffle. If they go left, they should also go right. You can have them turn around. There are different ways they could do this drill. If they are unstable, have a table or a wall behind them, just in case. But that was the third of our ambulation drills, the sideways shuffle. The next one is a weaving drill. Here we go. All they're now is they're weaving side to side while also maintaining their forward motion. So that is the weaving drill. Now in the real world, how I do this, once they've got these individual drills mastered, around and around, over and over, lateral shuffle, and weaving, when so we then I'll say over and over or around and round. And the goal is to get them very quickly to react, to respond. I was actually running ahead of myself. I was going to have all the spare time. Here we go. Anyway, the zigzag drills. This is where we left off. Getting ever wider. And again, if they don't have the good stability, those cups are either going to be crushed or they're going to knock them over. Okay. Next couple of drills, the U-turn ambulation drill. What we've got over here is you need a fairly large space for this. I usually do this one about 20 or 30 feet long, but you've got cups in the 4 corners and the middle. They start off at A, facing cup B. They walk in a straight line from A to B. When they're at B, what they do is they make a U-turn, and then they shuffle to the right to cup C. So it's a right shuffle. At cup C, they make a quarter turn, so they're facing cup D, walk normally to cup D, make another U-turn, and then laterally shuffle to the left back to A. If you've got a large enough course, you can have multiple people doing this at the same time. You see the red dot in the middle where the two lines intersect? If you've got multiple people doing this, what they've got to do is stop, wait, otherwise they have collisions. How I do it is whenever they go to a dot, they tap a foot on that dot. If you want to add another dimension, put a chair at point A, B, C, and D. Whenever there's a chair, they sit down and stand right up again. You bring in some lower body strengthening, some core strength, and they're doing chair squats. That's the U-turn drill. I've done this with a big enough room with as many as 40 or 50 people simultaneously. The basket weave drill, it takes some square footage. This one I usually do a 10 by 20 foot course. I've got a sample diagram there. You can do whatever. I've got different colored cups at different points. What they do is they're going to go from cup to cup and tap on the cup. So for example, they start off at level A or cup A, they walk to B, tap B. From this point, they side shuffle to C, tap C. Turn around and walk normally to cup D, side shuffle to E, and so forth. You can do this however you see fit. Whether you want them to walk a straight line, side shuffle, if you want them to do a retro or a backward walk. But it's a nice drill, and it's an agility drill because they're doing multiple directional changes. That's the basket weave drill. If any of you guys are coaches or been athletes, soccer athletes, basketball athletes, it's representative of drills that athletes do where they are running or sprinting in different directions. Many of our drills, as you probably imagined, are inspired by the world of sports. And the only way to end this drill is, and this is always a crowd favorite, if you just want to end on a positive note, if you've got cups that are a little bit mangled, ready to be retired, here's the stomping drill. They love this one. They get a kick out of this one. And the sound in my world of 30 or 40 older adults crushing their cups simultaneously and then giggling about it makes it all worthwhile. So that, my friends, is the fitting end to our ambulation drills, the stomping drill. Last couple of things, I've got a couple of minutes. You can use these for balance and cognition. And that's what I call team tic-tac-toe. I make a grid of masking tape on a table, because these were some of my very frail clients, on a table or on the floor for my more fit clients, and divide people into teams. It can be teams of 2, it can be teams of up to 4 people. Each team is a different color. Here they were red and blue. And each team gets 4 cups. Toss a coin. Red team goes first. They place a red cup on the grid. Then the blue goes, place a blue cup on the grid. Then red, then blue, until either the cups are all gone or somebody's achieved tic-tac-toe. There's 8 cups and there's 9 spots. I do the arithmetic. When all 8 cups are down and there's still no winner, meaning that all the colored cups are not in a row horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. So say, for example, the red went first. All 4 red cups are down. All 4 blue cups are down. Now red goes, and they can move any red cup to the vacant spot. Because now they've got to think about which cup they will move to make it more advantageous. Don't minimize this drill, because I call it a thinking on your feet drill, because they must actually think and move simultaneously. And when they're in a group, the pressure to make the right decision, because their teammates are all screaming at them, it's like, let's make a deal, is intense as well. I usually have them in the middle photograph. They start 10, 15 feet away, the starting line, because I want them to walk as well. That is Team Tic-Tac-Toe. Always very popular. And then finally, last way to do cup stacking, I do this in my memory management, my cognition programs, is what I do. And on the right-hand photograph, those folks in the front row are either all well into their 90s or they've got some health concerns, which is why they're seated. The people in the back row are my youngsters who are in their 80s. They sit or they stand. They all get 6 red cups, 6 blue cups. They see a diagram on the big screen TV, and their goal is to duplicate the diagram. Their goal is to duplicate the diagram. On our website, we have this drill available for free on what we call our Train the Brain drills. Here's pretty much what it looks like. I'm going very fast, of course. But what it is a series of slides that you can see on your phone, your laptop, your tablet, your big screen TV. You put them on the screen. Your client has got cups, and you ask them to duplicate what they see. If you want to make it really challenging, show them the slide for 3 or 4 seconds, and then turn it off and make them build it from memory. If you do the count, those are all diagrams using no more than 6 cups of one color and 6 of the other. Go to our website, Train the Brain. It's called My Cup Runneth Over, and it's available to you for free if you want to try this as a cup catching cognition drill. Okay, I'm going to open this up for questions in a moment, but as a special summit benefit, all of our senior fitness webinars are on sale today only for $7.50 each. They're both worth a number of credits. Check out our website. If you want today's outline, go to our Facebook page. It's already there just waiting for you. You do not have to have a Facebook account to access the outline. And a thought, because you know I always have to end with my spiel. Consider adopting a pet. You know I love my pets. You saw them in my vid. You know, often our rescue pets, they're going to rescue us. Seniors and pets are a great combination. So I will leave it at that. And Dan, if there are questions, I'm ready if you are. We got a couple minutes left.
Yeah, we do. We've got a solid 10 minutes here. So let's take some questions. Man, big crowd, 111 in the room, so that's great. All right, so type your questions in the chat. Kirsty says, thank you, Guy. Really enjoyed your sessions and love the ideas. We'll definitely use it in our sessions.
Good.
Manya is asking, can you provide some written instructions for the team tic-tac-toe? Didn't quite catch the verbal instructions, or maybe you can go over that again just quickly.
Yeah, I can do it either way. You know what, let's do this. Send me a message on my Facebook page, access at our Facebook page. I've got the instructions written out, and I'll just send them to you that way, as opposed to taking some time that I could use to answer other questions. You know, usually sure. I'm not that concerned about time, but I know there's another seminar starting right after me. So yeah, put a message on my Facebook page, and I'll get you those instructions. Not a problem.
Awesome, awesome. Can you put that fit that slide up again with the Facebook? Just go back a slide. Yeah, because I know people are asking that too. They want a copy of today's outline. So, yep. You know, hop on over facebook.com, exercise, etc. I love that you made the point. You don't have to have a Facebook account. Facebook's a website, so you can go there and get access to stuff. So so that's great.
And if you want the webinar link, there's the, I'll just toggle between those 2 pages. So what do you got?
Yeah, great. And then just so everybody knows, you know, this session was recorded. We'll make that available. So if there was stuff in there you want to go back and watch again, you got access to the recording, as well as Exercise Etc. has a virtual booth, you know, so hop on the Summit page, click on the Exercise Etc. booth. Guys got more information for you there as well. So that is great. Great ideas. Thank you, Guy. People saying we'll use with my seniors. Any recommendations for, you know, obese seniors, overweight seniors? Any concerns there? Thoughts?
Yeah, it really depends. You know, you've seen from the photographs, a good number of my folks are overweight or obese. They need to have the balance. They need to have the stability. I'm mainstreaming with everyone else. I have support available if they need it. But really, I don't make any special modifications for that population. For
Yeah,
whatever that's
sure.
worth.
Okay. Hey, Dolly and Daniel, I see you guys on camera. Did you want to ask a question live, or you just want us to see you?
I just wanted to see you again.
Dolly just popping in to say hello again. All right, we've got about 8 minutes left. Next sessions start at 3 o'clock, so we've got time. If people have more questions for Guy, if you want to hop on camera and speak, you can do that as well. Pam, you do your program. She's asking, you do your program through the city. Why not the Park District?
Well, it's Parks and Recreations.
Parks and Rec through the city.
Department,
Okay.
maintained by the city, yeah.
Is that Fort Lauderdale? What city again?
It's the city of Wilton Manors. Wilton
Okay.
Manors is a very small suburb of Fort Lauderdale.
Got it. Okay.
Actually,
Yeah.
it's surrounded by Fort Lauderdale.
Barb,
I have to show Guy something.
Okay. She's gonna pull out a giant stack of plastic cups. Here we go. No, oh, what is that?
Oh, how old are they?
Is that a kitten? Can't hear you, Dolly. You muted.
He's
Oh.
6 days old today. I've had him since he was 1 day.
Oh my goodness.
Just open its eyes.
Guys, my boy, I rescued it 2 weeks. I bottle fed him for almost 4 weeks. Nice. Thank you.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yay.
Good job.
We got a lot of kitten fans on here.
Yeah, well, now that I woke him up, I got to feed him.
What else?
Manya, I already ordered my cups and colored ping pong balls on Amazon. I hope you're getting some kind of commission on that, Guy.
I am not, unfortunately.
Renee's asking, do you have a book available that outlines your programs? I mean, should they just go to your website? What's the idea there?
The book is in development. It's about 50% down. I hope to have that out by the end of this year. In the meantime, on our website, our webinar series on brains and balance has got many of these. And when we go back to live training, our brains and balance program, we do this live at locations all over the country. We're starting this program up again, hopefully, cross my fingers, in September, once we can travel again.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Matt is asking, just for future suggestion, because I know we'll have you on a webinar again in the future. Could you do some webinars
tomorrow
on agility training? Right, he's got a session tomorrow. Webinars on agility training using dots, ladders, and cones. And maybe you could give us a little preview of what you got in store for us tomorrow.
Yeah, and actually, believe it or not, some of our things for tomorrow are dealing with agility training, because I believe it's so vital for older adults to get up, get moving. We've got an entire series of webinars, and live classes that were about to come out when we went into lockdown, dealing with the different types of agility training and deceleration training, specifically for seniors. We're trying to put them into webinars, but we have literally just in the last couple of weeks gotten the ability to add live video clips to our PowerPoint. And that topic did not lend itself well to still photographs, but now that I have figured out how to do video clips, we're moving forward with that, because there is a demand, especially for active baby boomers, for agility and deceleration training. And that is part of what we are working on literally as we speak.
Yeah, for sure. And I always tell people agility is at a wide range of functional levels, right? I mean, the agility you need to just take a walk on the beach is, critically important. Might not be the same agility you need to play tennis, so it kind of depends on the functional goal of your clients, but critically important, because if we lose agility, I mean, we lose the ability to do the things we enjoy doing and love to do. And then once we're not doing those things, we begin to decline. So,
yeah. And what I'm telling my folks who I'm meeting with, virtually and on YouTube, is more now than ever. I share with you the statistics about the death rate of over 65 in nursing homes in the state of Florida. But the point I'm making is, you guys need to stay independent, stay healthy. The last thing you want to do right now is have to go to assisted living or a nursing home. And that kind of gets their attention, because this suddenly got very, very real for many of them.
Yeah, for sure. I think an interesting question here. I'm curious, so I'm going to ask before I even get to Rosemary's, I'm going to ask how many of the clients you work with have knee issues, knee replacements? Because then Rosemary asks, what do you do for fall risk seniors with knee issues?
Okay, if I had to put a number on it, just off the top of my head, I would say that probably 25% of my folks have got chronic knee issues, mainly osteoarthritis and or knee replacements. I've got probably 4 or 5 I can think of off the top of my head that have had bilateral knee replacement. And again, as I mentioned with the folks who are obese, my folks, you know, if they have Parkinson's or if they've got a level of dementia, I mainstream them with everyone else because the concern they always have is falling. We've got to keep them strong so they don't fall. The tendency is very often, I believe, to keep them in their chair because there's less fall risk. But if they're living independently, eventually they've got to get out of their chair. They've got to go to the bathroom. They've got to make lunch. They've got to make the bed. So I take precautions. I've got support everywhere. You know, there's tables and chairs everywhere for them to hang on to. And my rules are do what you can, when you can, for as long as you can. When you need a break, take a break. Because I don't want them to get overtired because the fatigue might increase their fall risk. But I'll tell you, I've had really good compliance and good results and good feedback to my clients with new knees, new hips, and the ones who are dealing with osteoarthritis and living with pain on a daily basis. So I've had good luck with mainstreaming them with suitable support and precautions.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Shannon says, I coach gymnasts age 2 to 50 plus. That's cool. And I found agility drills have given benefits to her seniors as well.
Are we calling 50 plus a senior? No, don't answer that. Don't answer that.
No, I think she means she coaches gymnasts.
I know.
Gymnasts age 2 to 50 plus.
I know.
Well, we're going to wrap it at that. It's 2:43, so we are going to end 2 minutes early. For those of you on the recording, I know you're wanting to get guys slides. There's the page there, facebook.com/exercise, etc. And if you want the special on the webinars, there's the link there as well. So thanks everyone for attending live. Guy, thanks so much for your time, and we will see you.
I apologize for the technical issues with my thunderstorm.
No worries. We'll see you again tomorrow with another great session. So thanks again.
11:30 tomorrow. See you then.
Yep. Bye-bye.